I got one good question for you. Are you still kind of confused on the process of cleaning up your credit? If the answer is yes, you know I got you. I'm going to show you a process on how to slap everything off your credit report. So with that being said, you already know what time it is. Let's get right into it. What's up, family? I'm back with another one. Hey, if you're new to the channel, welcome to the family. So in today's class, I'm going to give you an entire game plan on how to clean up your credit. Now, let's say a 6-month game plan. I'm not saying everything's going to come off in the next 6 months, but I want to give you a game plan so you understand what to do if an account comes back verified, or if this comes back, or what to do next, right? I want to give you an entire game plan so you can start getting some results and start increasing your credit score so you can get that house, that car with the red seats, or whatever you're trying to get, a funding for your business, whatever, right? I'm gonna show you how to do it step by step by step. So with that being said, go grab a pen, get some paper, hey, and make sure you get you something to drink, because, hey, this is gonna be a good one. All right, welcome to today's lesson. So pay attention and pay attention to every close. Now, I know you've seen this process, right? 7-step process, but remember, 6 months, right? We got 6 months. Now it might take a little bit longer than 6 months. However, just giving you a time frame. Now, within this 6 month, well, here's what you're going to be doing. So this is just an overview. However, I'm gonna break down some more stuff in between each of these steps. So the first step is getting clear on what you really want, right? So I'm gonna break that down so you can understand what I'm talking about. End in mind, what you really want. Then we're going to analyze your credit report, how to clean up your personal information, freeze the snitches, set everybody up, build your credit, and a KO method, right? Now the KO method is something different, and I'm gonna break it down, but I want you to get the structure. I want you to understand so you can go ahead and do the tactics and get everything cleaned up so you know how to respond, when to do this, when to do that, so you can get clear and you won't be all over the place. So I'm gonna get clear on the end in mind real quick. All right, so the first step in this process of getting clear on what you really want. End in mind, what do you really want? Do you want a house? Do you want a car? Do you want funding for your business? You gotta identify what you really want. So for me, what I really want, before, when I first started cleaning my credit, or first I wanted the house, right? That was my first goal, but now things change. For me, I wanna have a big office to help millions of people, right? I want to have a big home. I want to have nice cars. I want to have a plane. I want to have a lot of things. I think big, right? I want to become a billionaire. And in the process of me becoming a billionaire, I want to be able to help millions of people when it comes to credit, when it comes to business credit, when it comes to finances, when it comes to taxes, insurance, all that, a one-stop shop. That's what I really want, right? And I'm working towards that. So you got to identify what you really want. This is how I look at it every single day. No days off. I'm really serious about this. Team, no days off, for this to get to where I really want. So I have everything I want in my book. Now, things updated, right? Things change. However, as you can see, I got the book, the car. I want y'all to see what I'm talking about, right? I got the house I really want, the house kind of house, the jet, the Jeep, everything I'm clear on. This is when I first started doing this. The places I want to go to, right? Santorini, Greece. I already been to Dubai. There's certain places like Bora Bora, all these places I want to be, Hong Kong. Hey, as you can see, I want y'all to see what I'm talking about, right? So you can do the same exact thing, right? Now, you don't have the same. I want to go see Tom Brady play. I want to go see LeBron James play. I'm going to do that this year. I know I can't see Michael Phelps, but I want to meet these people, or, see them one day. I want to be able to talk at the Orlando Arena. What I mean by talk, host my own conference, teaching people about credit, business, and things like that. I got my first book. Now the name of the book changed. However, that's the first book I'm going to come out with. My family put them on the Disney cruise, going to Paris, own apartments. I'm gonna have apartments to own as well to help other people. And then, as you can see, never quit on your dreams, right? So what do you really want? Hey, you got to identify that first. You got to look at it every single day. And then once you identify that, now we can move on to what the process look like to clean up your credit. Now, The only way for this to work is if you work. Now the work works, but I just want you to get clear on what you really want so you can work towards it, right? So if it's like a house, like you don't need a perfect credit score to get a house or to get a car, right? Or to get funding for your business. But there's certain things you want to have in your credit profile. Everybody's like a little bit different. And I'm just going to show you on which way to go depending on what you're trying to do. And just give you a clear overview so you can be working towards something and not just be like, dang, my credit score dropped. This happened, that happened. I want you to be motivated and be clear and be like, all right, I'm working towards, understand that my points might tank a few because of this might happen, or my points might drop because of this, or I might not get this off. I just want you to understand that this is a process. It's going to take a little bit of time. However, time is going to pass, so you might as well go ahead and put in the work because this is what you really want. This is your life. So this is the first step you got to do first, and then we can move on to the next step, which is analyzing our credit report and seeing what we got to do to get to that house, to get to that car, to get to funding for our business. And I'm gonna break down both three because everybody's a little bit different, and I'll break down three processes on what you should take and what your credit profile needs to look like to get a house, what your credit profile needs to look like to get a car, what your credit profile needs to look to get a funding for your business, because everybody's different, everybody has a different roadmap, but I wanna be your person to help you out, to get you to where you wanna be, because my goal, like I said, is to create a huge, I'm talking about huge office to help millions and millions of people when it comes to credit and when it comes to this, and give you the game as well. No matter what, you don't have to sign up with me, but I just want to give you the information so you can do it on your own. And if you don't have that time, you already know you can hire your boy, you can hire my team to do it for you. So first step, we already talked about the end of mine. Now let's talk about how to analyze. So the second step in this process, right? We talked about the end of mine. We got clear on what we really want. Now, the second step in this process is this part right here, analyzing our credit report, right? Once we analyze our credit report, here's what you want to do, right? I'm gonna break it down. This is the next step, analyzing our credit report. Now, here's what you want to do. You want to go to Smart Credit and go ahead and download your credit report and go ahead and look at what's holding your credit score back. Now, if you don't have, Smart Credit, or you have Identity IQ, depending on what you have, this is what you want to do. Now, I showed you a way to get your free credit report. You can go to annualcreditreport.com and do the same thing. It's just going to take a little bit of time, but here's an overview of what I'm talking about, right? So the first thing you want to do is, let me zoom in a little bit. So the first thing you want to do is look at what's holding your credit score back. So remember, we talked about getting the house. We talked about getting a car. We're talking about getting funding for our business, right? So I'm gonna break down that overview, but the first thing I want you to do is look at what's holding your credit score back. Now, once you identify what's holding your credit score back, now we can go towards if we want that house, if we're trying to go in that path, if we're trying to go in the path of getting a car, if we're trying to get a path of getting funding for our business, business funding, right? We know what path to take, and I'm just gonna break down those three paths so you can see what I'm talking about. But looking at our credit report first, this is what you want to do. You want to look at what's holding your credit score back. Now, total accounts is fine, right? But you want to have, the more accounts you have in your credit profile, the better. And the reason why that is because if a lender or a loan or somebody's looking at your credit report and they're like, all right, this person has 40 accounts. They're able to manage credit. I don't mind giving them a loan. I don't mind giving them extended credit. I don't mind doing that for them because I can see overview that they can handle credit and they don't depend on it. They just have it. So when they need it, whenever they need it, they pay back and things like that. So total accounts is fine. Open accounts is fine. Close accounts is fine, right? Now, what's really not fine is delinquent accounts. Now, if you have delinquent accounts, that either means you have some accounts that are currently late or right now late 30, 60, 90 days, 120 days past due, right? So we got to get that fixed. Next thing, derogatory accounts. What derogatory accounts consist of multiple things. It could be collections, charge-off, repossessions, evictions. There are multiple things that are derogatory, right? Now, collections is a little bit different right now. If you have a collection, we all know what collections are, right? So this is what you want to see, what's holding your credit score back. Now, once you identify what's holding your credit score back, if you have any public records as bankruptcy, inquiries, I'm gonna show you how to remove your inquiries as well. But this is what you want to pay attention to first before we do anything, right? We got to see what we got to do to get to that house, what we got to do to get to that car, what we got to do to get to that funding for our business. And once we get clear on that, then we can go ahead and start disputing and things like that. But first and foremost, get clear. We know what we really want. Now we got to see, now we see what's holding our credit score back. Now we want to do is properly analyze it, and we're not sending no letters off. All right, so this is the first thing you want to do. All right, so next what you want to do is download your credit report. Now you don't have to download it. You can just, if you have it on your computer, you can just look at it, right? But I just want you to see what I'm talking about, right? So, because the first letter we're not sending no letter off to dispute. We send off a letter to tell them to check everything, make sure everything's 100% correct, right? So the first thing you want to do is just analyze and see what's holding your credit. I mean, we saw what's holding your credit score back. We just looking at all the accounts right now. It'll be very, it would be, behoove you to download everything, but you don't have to. You can print everything out, but you don't have to. I just want you to have records. So when you look at from this month compared to next month, and continue comparing, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. So you can see if they removed it or if they did what they're supposed to do. So first and foremost, what you're telling the credit bureaus to do is check every piece of information on the account, right? So that's the first letter you're gonna send off, right? But here's what I'm talking about. Now, here's what you're doing. You're just looking at to see if the account number is the same on all three, right? On TransUnion, as you can see right here, Experian, and Equifax. And you just going down and just checking, right? The date open, as you can see, is incorrect, right? It's not matching all three. Now, same thing, you're just looking at the balances and you're doing the same thing, high credit, just checking everything, right? Collection, charge off, right? Making sure that everything is quote unquote matching up, right? Date last active, as you can see, different dates, right? And then if your payment history is a little bit messed up, you want to see if everything is 100% accurate, right? You just want to see what's going on, right? You just analyzing, right? This step 2 is just analyzing your credit report. Now, after you analyze, the next step is cleaning up your personal information. Now, this can be confusing, but it's really, I'm gonna walk you through it because I can't show you people's personal information. What I could do is just walk you through on how to clean up your personal information. Now, once you clean up your personal information, as you can see, freezes snitches set everybody up. Now, what you need to grab is my 5-pack dispute kit, right? Now, this is my kit that has everything that you need in there, right? For the different letters, right? I'm giving you the information, but you need a playbook, right? Now, the playbook ain't free. You just need to grab it so you can start working. Now, let me break down to you how to clean up your personal information real quick. So cleaning up your personal information. Now, this is the third step, right? The third step in this process, what we talked about before. Now, you have to go to Experian.com. You can get this app for free, or you can, start for $1. You should be able to get on it for free, right? You can sign up for free. And what you want to do is go all the way down to the bottom. Once you open up an account, credit account, just type in Experian, free Experian account, and you should be able to go ahead and create a free Experian account. Now, once you're in, now what you want to do is go all the way down to the bottom of the page. Once you're on the home page, and you're going to see support, right? You're going to see support, right? And then you're going to click on this right here, Help Center. Now, once you click on Help Center, this is going to pop up. I know in my previous video, it was already on the first page, but you're going to go ahead and click on this right here. As you can see, Dispute Center right here. I'm going to click on Dispute Center. Now, once you click on Dispute Center, you want to go ahead and start a new dispute. Now, we're not disputing online. We're not doing anything, right? What we're doing is seeing what personal information they have, right? You're going to see a lot of information. I'm talking about misspelled name, addresses misspelled, various addresses, probably an employee that you don't live at there no more, probably somebody's one of your spouse work history, your spouse phone number, your spouse on. You're gonna see a lot of information, and what you want to do is clean up that personal information. And the reason why you want to clean up that personal information is because it's attached to all those negative accounts that you highlighted and that you basically saw that's holding your credit score back. I want you to think back to the time when those accounts were open. If they wasn't open by you, whatever happened, right? Whatever happened with those accounts, think back to where the time you had that address or wherever it happened, right? You got to think back to that time, right? Also, you can see if you try to dispute that address, you'll be able to see what account is a link to that address, and you're going to see various accounts. But what you want to do is clean up your personal information. Now, to clean up your personal information, you can get my 5-pack dispute kit, and you'll be able to have the information letter, and then also personal information letter, or you can call in, right? It's really simple to do this, right? Call in and tell them what's your new address, what's your phone number, and tell them to delete everything. Now, if you don't want to call in, because it's going to take a little bit of time, like I said, you can send a letter off and tell them what's your correct address, what's your correct phone number, and what's your correct work history and everything, right? You want to have one name on your credit report. You want to have your date of birth if you want to. It's up to you. You want to have your address, one address, right? And you can have a previous address, but you just want to at least have 1 to 2 addresses on your credit report. And then you want to have one phone number, and you want to have one job, right? You don't want to have multiple jobs. Like I said before, when a lender's looking at your credit report or an underwriter's looking at your credit report, you want to make sure everything is the same on all 3, because you can get denied just off of that. A lot of people don't tell you that, but that's another way you can get denied. So clean up all the personal information first before you do anything. Now, once you clean up your personal information, it's going to probably take you a couple of days, 3 to 4 days, 5 days, the max, right, to clean all that up, right? You want to go ahead now, freeze the snitches, right? What we're doing is freezing the snitches. The next step, freezing snitches is setting up LexisNexis, setting up CoreLogic, setting up State Street. You know what? I'm gonna put a video right here so you can go ahead and watch it. Put it right here so you can go ahead and click on it and watch it later. But there's gonna be like a total of 9 to 10 people that you can go ahead and suppress, right? Suppress them. I mean by hushing them up. We gotta hush them up first. Now, once we hush them up, now what we wanna do is, I'm gonna show you what to do next. All right, so after you freeze the snitches, here's what you want to do, right? You want to send off my free secret letter. Now, it's free. The link is in the description. You can go ahead and grab it for free, right? So make sure you send this letter off for free. You want to add all those accounts that you highlighted, all those accounts that you saw on your credit report, that you saw that was on your credit score back. You want to add the account name and account number. Right now, the account number, it's okay if it have X's on it. You don't need the whole entire account number. But what you do is make sure you have the some of the numbers with the X's as well. And make sure you have the name. Now, once you do this, you want to add 2 forms. You want to send this off to Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax, and I'll have the actual address in the description as well, so you can go ahead and send it off to all 3. And you want to send it certified, right? And what I mean by certified, you want to have this right here, this little green sticker, right? You want to get it certified. Once you go to the post office, they know what you're talking about. You can get a return receipt, or you don't have to get a return receipt. As long as you have the tracking number and you have that it was certified, you're good. Now send it to Experian, TransUnion, Equifax. Add 2 forms of identification with this letter. 2 forms, photo ID, driver's license, and proof of address, right? Something that has your address. Now you want to take a complete picture of the of like water bill, cell phone bill, light bill, whatever, right? You want to make sure you take a full picture of the address, right? So, I mean, the document, because you don't want to take a picture of the envelope, because sometimes they don't use that as, it might get kicked back and saying that they can't properly see or verify your information. So make sure you take a clear picture of your driver's license, a clear picture of your address, right? Proof of residency. Now, after you do that, send it to Experian, TransUnion, Equifax. Now, this should all take anywhere roughly between 7 days, right? It might take you 2 to 3 days, 4 days, right? But this is just the first week, right? And remember, we got 6 months, 6 whole long months. However, time's gonna pass regardless if you're not doing it, if you are doing it. So, but we are gonna be doing it because the work works, all right? So the first 7 days is doing like the first five steps, right? Now, after you got clear on what you really wanted, right? You understood how to analyze your credit report. Now you clean up your personal information. You should have either called in or sent the letter in. You also freeze the snitches, right? You freeze all 9 snitches, 9, 10 snitches. Now, after you freeze the snitches, you send off your letter to Experian, TransUnion, Equifax. I know this takes a little bit of time. However, like I said, the work works. So after you send the free secret letter off, now I'm gonna show you what you need to be doing next, right? Based off of your goals, you want to be doing certain things. So if you're trying to get a house, you need to be doing this certain things. If you're trying to get a car, you need to be doing that. If you're trying to get funding for your business, you need to be doing that. And I'm gonna break that down to you so you can understand what you need to be doing in the meantime until you wait for the investigation to come back, right? Step number 6 is building your credit. Now, building your credit to get a house, building your credit to get a car, building your credit to get funding for your business. I'm gonna break that down right now. So let's get into it. Everybody's goals are different, right? So when it comes to getting a house, when it comes to getting a car, when it comes to get funding for your business, right? The process is a little bit different, right? However, once you properly build out your credit profile, you'll be able to get a house, you'll be able to get a car, you'll be able to get funding for your business, right? But there are certain things you want to do. When it comes to getting a house, the requirements are a little bit more different, right? Because they check for your last two, they check your pay stub, they check to make sure you've been working for the last 2 years. They check the your bank account, they check your last 2 month statements. They check a lot of information, right? They checking your banking, they checking a lot for you to qualify for a house. For a car, it's a little bit different. For funding, to get funding for your business, it's a little bit different. But for a house, it's very dependent on more than just credit, right? It depending on like your income and things like that. So let's talk about it real quick. Well, I'm gonna say that for last for the house, but to get a car and get funding for your business, let's talk about getting a car, right? So in order to get a car without no down payment, here's what you want to have. You want to have at least a 720 plus credit score, right? Now, it could be a little bit lower, like a 700, but let's just focus on a 720 or higher, right? Now, the reason why you want to have a 720 or higher is because, first of all, your interest rates want to be like very low. Now, the higher, the more higher your credit score, right? The better your interest rate. So if you get it to, let's say a 740 or higher, now you're at excellent credit, 740 or higher, right? So let's say you're at 740, like 741. Now your interest rate is going to be like super low, like around 2-3% interest rate, right? Or sometimes 1%, right? Depending on what you have going on. So to qualify for a car, to build your credit profile to get a 740, it's, I ain't gonna say it's simple, but there are some things, and I'm gonna break that down here in a second. But to get a car, you want to have at least 720 is good. It's the minimum. 740 or higher is what you want to shoot for, right? And for funding for your business, you want to have the minimum credit score you can get funding is a 680 plus, right? But what you really want to shoot for is a 740 as well, 740 plus, right? Now, because the higher credit score, the better the interest rate, the better the perks, the better credit cards you qualify for. So let's shoot for this, right? And to get the car, you want to go create a relationship with a credit union, right? A credit union will be your best friend when it comes to this, right? Sign up for a credit union, whether that's Navy Federal or local credit union. Sign up for that first. Same thing as well. You want to start off with the funding for your business. You want to start with a credit union, and you want to make sure, of course, they have you can open up a business account with them. So shoot for this first. For a house, it's going to be a little bit different, right? Because you can qualify not from just a credit union, but there are other places or other ways to qualify for a home. But for a car and funding for your business, build a relationship with the credit union. Open up a savings account and put a minimum of $20 into these accounts, right? And go ahead and build that relationship up first. And I'm gonna talk to you on how to properly build up your credit profile. To go ahead, because it's kind of simple once you start removing those negative items. But most importantly, getting that house, it's going to be a little bit different, and the qualifying score is going to be a little bit different as well, because like I said, the house is totally different when it comes to trying to qualify for it. All right, so in order to qualify for a house, right? Car, funding, right? We talked about the credit scores you need, right? We talked about it on right here. So to get clear, to get a house, there's multiple credit scores you can have, right? And what I had when I first got my first house, I had a 620, right? 620 FICO score, right? I was able to get the house. Now, and my interest rate was at like a 4.4 interest rate. So that's not what you want, right? You want to have at least the minimum credit score, if you can hold off, at least have a 680, 680 plus middle score, right? 680 plus, that can get you anywhere between like a 3% interest rate, right? 3%, around 3% interest rate, right? So if you can hold off, try to get a 680 middle score. What I mean by middle score is, like, let's say your credit score, one of your credit score is a 740, right? And another score is like a 650, and then your middle score is like around 680. Now, the second, like your middle score is a 680, right? 680 plus. So they're gonna take your middle score. Now, the higher your credit score, the better. So if you have 770 and then 680, they're gonna take whatever's in the middle. So try to get your middle score above a 680 plus. Now, to qualify for a house, there are many requirements. Like I said before, they checking your pay stub, they checking your banking account information, they're checking to make sure your personal information, like they're checking those things to qualify for a home. So at least qualify, you want to have at least you got to have at least a 620 to go ahead and say you pre-qualify, right? But to close on a home, they're checking your job, they're checking all that information. But there's so much information when it comes to how buying a house is like a headache. Whew, I swear to you. But once it's over, you close, you're good, right? But we're going to talk about it on another day, because I have a friend, he's on YouTube, and we're going to talk about, he's a realtor. I'm going to bring him on the platform so we can talk about how to get a house, no money down, certain things like that, to be able to help y'all out, right? I got y'all, right? So, house, bam. We talked about a FICO score and everything you need to have right now. Most banks look at the FICO 8, right? For like a car and funding for your business. So make sure your FICO 8 credit score is up to date, right? And what I mean by FICO 8, lowest credit score you can have is a 300, and the highest credit score you can have is an 850, right? It gives you like 550 points to play with, right? So just make sure your credit profile is correctly built out to get funding, to get a car, right? The minimum, what I mean by correctly built out, is payment history need to be at 100%. Payment history, 100%. Utilization below 10%, right? And this is for car and funding, right? So 100%, right? I'll probably make a little video showing it, but 100%, right? Utilization below 10%, right? 0% if you can get it at 0, continue paying it down, right? If you're at 20, 30, continue paying it down. After you have utilization at 0%, average age. Now, for a car, you want to have at least a year plus. Now, every bank's different. They might qualify you for it, but you want to have at least a year when it comes to a car. Funding, you want to have at least 2+ years, right? And how you can get 2+ years is by adding like your rental history on your credit report, like adding some more rental, get it added as an authorized user, one of your close friends or relatives to add you on as an authorized user and give you some history, right? The next major factor is credit mix. You want to have a mix of accounts, right? Mix of accounts such as revolving accounts and installment accounts. You want to have a mix of both. And then your last but not least, is hard inquiries, new accounts, right? You want to make sure for a car that you're not going to the actual car dealership to apply for a car. Same thing, well, we already know you can't do that for a house, but the same thing is you want to make sure you have, you apply with the local credit union, right? That's why I say go create a relationship first and apply with them, and then they should qualify you for $40,000, $50,000 loan to go ahead and get that car that you really want. Funding for your business, hard inquiries, depending on if you're trying to go personal business, make sure you have 3 or less hard inquiries on your credit report in the last 6 months, right? Make sure you're not applying for things, make sure you're not having to open a new account. Just continue building. Now, if you're building to build up your credit profile, that's fine, right? Because we're going to be cleaning up. But you want to make sure you don't have too many hard inquiries, because you'll get denied because you look thirsty. Same thing for a car, you can get denied as well. Now, for a house, it might be a little bit different because you're trying to qualify for a lower interest rate for a house, right? But don't go try to apply for things, right? Because you already know when it comes to a house, if you start going to apply for things, they will deny you, they will close. Like, you'll get totally upset. So don't apply for nothing when you're in the process of buying a house, right? After you close on the house, you can go get a car. You can go get funding for your business. That's after you close on the house. Like after everything's done, paperwork signed, you good to go, you got the keys. All right. But depending on what path you're going, depending on what direction, right? Credit score and everything, right? So that's what you want to focus on. Woo! Hey, that was a lot of information, right? All right. Tomorrow's video, I'm going to show you the KO method, right? What to do if your account come back verified, what to say, how to respond, what you need to do so you can start getting results, so you can start seeing your credit score increase, so you can start seeing them things are being removed, so you can start seeing progression, right? I want to basically break that down, right? I don't want to make this video too long. I already made it long enough. However, in tomorrow's video, I'm going to break down more of the KO method, more of what you need to be doing, more of how to respond back to the credit bureau so you don't be afraid, and what you need to say to the credit bureau so you can start getting those results and start getting that. Whether you have a bankruptcy, charge off, repossession, eviction, student loan, it don't matter what's on your credit report, it can come off. All you have to do is put in the work, and the work works. And you know I got you. I'm gonna show you how to do everything, right? So be on the lookout for tomorrow's video. I don't know when I'm gonna drop it, but just know it's gonna be basically explaining. We talked about what to do in the next 7 days, but this is a journey. So just remember, a journey is gonna take time, but the time is worth it because that house, that car, be able to travel for free, be able to get funding for your business, be able to do the things that you want when it comes to credit, because credit is life, and you'll be able to use it and be able to get instant approvals based off your credit because you built it up strongly so you can get whatever you want. So don't want to talk for too long, but it's time to do the KO method and plan out everything, right? So you can go ahead and get better results and build up that credit profile so it can be nice and you get instant approvals whenever you apply, all right? So, you know I got you. I'm gonna show you in the next video. Hey, that knockout, but hey, knock them out, right? All right, I'll see you in the next video or next class.